I'm guessing obviously you've seen by the title. Today is the top quotes that have changed my life, and these quotes aren't from like books or anything. They're from things that have come out of people's mouths, that I've been around, people that I've listened to for advice, or something that somebody said that's really stood out to me, and I have been logging them on my phone, on my notes app, for a very long time. So today I'm going to be sharing them with you, and you should stay put because some of these will blow your mind. I am religious, so this goes out to anybody that is Christian or believes in God. If not, you can just like ignore this one or whatever. Some of these will be some Christian quotes. The first one is, there is no resurrection without a cross. The next quote is, we accept the love we think we deserve. Oh, I love this one. You have not lived today until you have done something for someone who cannot repay you. I wouldn't mind like explaining what these quotes mean to me, but I feel like everyone has a different understanding and a different take of what the quote will mean to them. But it basically saying that you will feel really satisfied and really content with yourself if you do things for others sometimes. The next quote is, they say what you see is reality, but reality is what goes on inside ourselves. I actually love this quote, and the reason why is because you'll walk around on the street or whatever and see a random person, but like you won't know anything about them, and people say like it is what you see it to be, but also you need to keep in mind that deep down there are so many things and so many mental battles as well that are going on in people's personal lives and people's brains that even sometimes they can't explain. So I really, really love that quote. It's a very comforting quote. The next one is, being alive is a special occasion. I love the way somebody phrased this to me once, because it just goes to show that sometimes we take way too many things and even the most simplest things for granted. Literally, I'm speaking for myself. Recently, I've been in an absolute rut. This girl is only scraping by daily. So just reading this quote, honestly, is kind of so beautiful. It's saying to celebrate every day. Being born again or waking up the next morning is something you definitely should celebrate, because not everyone does. It is good to talk to people whose character challenges you, because it gets you to be open-minded and patient with personality clash. Now, this is an interesting quote. You obviously get along with people that agree with you, right? Like, awesome, great, that's how friendships are made, whatever. I was having a conversation with someone where there was a disagreement, and what kind of came out of the situation was me being like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about it that way. Oh my goodness. Now that you say that, that's got me thinking. You should never ever walk through life with your ears being closed doors. They should always be open, always welcome to new information, always welcome to new knowledge, because you can always learn. You're always learning. This quote makes me sad. Every person who has walked through life, God has sent for a specific reason. As much as I love this quote, I hate this quote at the same time, because recently I just went through a breakup and it was a horrific breakup. And I'm just thinking in my head, why did God... I actually still can't understand now. Maybe I will in the future, but I do not understand why God sent that man into my life. I love this. You cannot have a positive life and a negative mind. So basically, what I took from this is you can't walk through life being like, oh my gosh, like, do you know, say you're a nurse and you're there saving lives, but then you go home and you just talk trash, or like you go to the bathroom for a break and you just talk trash. So you're doing one thing, but you're saying something else. Eventually, because those two things don't align, you're just going to have a fallout, whether it's a mental fallout, whether it's just like a breakdown moment, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think what I love about this is it's saying be a genuine, authentic person. This is another Christian quote. They hated me, brackets God, before they hated you. That just like stings. You know why? Because it's kind of like I believe in God. I definitely believe that there is something after life. I'm still trying to figure out everything, but honestly, no one really knows the exact answer. But what I could definitely say is that people will hate for absolutely no reason at all. You're not going to be able to walk through life trying to be a good person and trying to be an authentic person without somebody hating on you. Really simple thing that somebody said. As long as you are honest and you respect other people, they will respect you no matter how poor you are. Wow, that's really beautiful. It's just saying that honesty and respect come a long way in any situation. And saying that, don't be like a people pleaser and like do what everyone says, but to have a respectful manner for yourself and for others. And what I mean by that is not constantly changing depending on the situation. Oh my gosh, I am so passionate. If you want to know if somebody is a genuine person or an authentic person, put them in a high pressure situation where they are put in an uncomfortable position where somebody is confronting them. If you want to know if that person is authentic, they will treat that situation as any other normal situation, or they will react to that situation any other way that they would react in another situation. What I mean by this is their character traits or the way they act does not change depending on how people treat them. That is such a rare quality to have, but it is one of the greatest qualities to have, and that is literally true authenticity. Ooh, I love this. One stone can cause an avalanche. Let that sink in, you guys. One stone can cause an avalanche. There's a lot of ways to interpret this. I'm kind of like just going off into space thinking about it, because I think what I get from this is that one thing can make such a massive difference. Just one thing. Whether that one thing is positive or that one thing is negative, one change could cause major destruction, but also one change could be like a breakthrough. Not to put this really deeply, and I hope you guys understand this, an avalanche is kind of like a breakthrough, like it's a collapse of something. Something has been standing for so long and then it just breaks through. So you could look at that positively and negatively, and that's what I love, that quote. Flourishing means change. Amen, sister. Flourishing means change. I'm just gonna I think that change is not talked about enough. People have this thing that you shouldn't want to change. It's safe to be in the same position that you were 10 years ago. This is probably the biggest misconception that was ever taught to me growing up, because change is the greatest thing that could ever happen to you. And the reason for that is because with change comes growth, no matter what. Change means new skills. Change means new opportunities. Change means opening your mind wider. You flourish as a person when you change, because it's character building in whatever situation it is. If you're doing something repeatedly over and over again, it becomes robotic. It becomes routine. It becomes sometimes even comfortable that you drop your guard as a person. Oh my gosh. Okay, listen to this one, you guys. Uncertainty led to the pursuit of truth. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when you're uncertain about something, you're confused, or there's a lot of many different options. You can't just sit there and be like, okay, I'm cool with the confusion right now. No, because it stresses you out, it freaks you out, you've got more questions, you need answers, right? So uncertainty basically leads you to wanting to find the answer and leads you to discovering more. And that eventually leads to the truth, because you'll come to your own conclusion on your own discovery, and you'll find your version of that truth, if that makes sense. Gosh, this is really deep. Guys, anyone? Okay, this is for my people. Look, this is for anyone. If the universe created you, then who created the universe? You guys. Oh my goodness, that is just, that gives me shivers, you guys. I was having a discussion with someone about just life and who created the world and all that stuff, and it was just, that question is yet to fascinate me. Do you know what I mean? If the universe created you, right, who created the universe? All right, if that's not enough to keep you up at 3 a.m, I don't know what is. This is actually something my dad said. We were in just those lounge room conversations. Anyways, he said, it seems to me you're talking from a different part of the journey. Do you know why I love this quote? Because it's so true. A lot of people will talk about the future, or they'll talk about what they want you to be, but they completely disregard where you are right now. So I love this quote because it really teaches you and shows that you need to come down to somebody at their level and where they are right now. This is a really simple one, yet it is quite effective. In crisis, you can't say much. You can just sit by their side and listen. So this is in regards to people that are going through stuff, right? I think when you have friends and you have family, you can never really understand what they're going through. Only they can. The most important thing is to be by their side and listen. The art of listening is, again, one of the most powerful quality traits that somebody could have. Attentiveness, active listening. It is so important and valued nowadays, just because technology prevents us from having real live conversations. So listening and genuinely listening can go far. I have been in a situation where I've been in so much mental pain, and people will always tell me, you're strong, you'll get over it. It just takes time. They'll say all these things, and I'm just thinking to myself, you're not making me feel any better right now. Versus I've had a conversation where I have just ranted my heart out, and someone has been there just listening, going, I'm so sorry. You don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. Saying things like, I just want you to know that what you've been through, that doesn't define you as a person. That doesn't mean blah, 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 blah. Like being a genuine person, like listening, like legitimately. We're evaluating the circumstances so that they may not be repeated in different contexts by ourselves. This is a really deep quote, but basically what I got from this, my sister said this. When a situation doesn't directly involve you, it doesn't mean you kind of turn a blind side or like go deaf and not hear what's going on. I think the importance of listening to other people's experiences is to potentially prevent or give you hindsight into your own experiences in a way. I hope that makes sense. We talk a lot about God and not a lot to God. When I have nothing left or I have no one that I feel will be able to listen to me, will be able to understand me, that won't judge me, I rant to the air. I rant to the angels. I rant to God. Whether or not they're there, I literally don't care because I always have this thing that I do feel like somebody is listening. I have this warmth. I have this presence. So talking to God, you have nothing to lose. This quote scares me. I got this from a movie. Some people live their whole lives and never know that feeling. Whether it's the feeling of happiness, the feeling of success, the feeling of hope, the feeling of humor, like anything. Some people go their whole lives and never know that feeling. This is why I was saying before change is so important, because if you're doing the same thing over and over again, you're experiencing the same thing over and over again, you're not going to experience anything else. Don't let today be a continuation of yesterday. Live today as if you have been born again. This is so hard to do, by the way. This is like next level. The reason why is because it's saying that you shouldn't linger in the past. You shouldn't be held up by the past, even if it was yesterday, even if it was 5 minutes ago, even if it was 5 years ago. So it's saying wake up every day as if you were just born today. How refreshing would that be to just have a clean slate and just wake up the next morning and be like experiencing life all over again? That is insane, bro.